Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, smash a like on the video. It really does help me out. It's Friday. It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday, what? It is Friday. It's Friday, but there's no proper football this weekend, so it doesn't feel like a proper weekend. But it is Friday. The week is done, and there are loads of you here already, which is always good to see. Pekka, Creeper, VV Vlad, John, Drax, Ethan Udall, Vincent, Ultra Pro Gamer, Ben Sharp, Young Tar, Tom, Magnus, Saliba, Hannah, Electric Gaming, Jakub, Mia. It is good to see you all. Kima as well. People talking about Victor Gyökeres, of course, here for the daily dose of Gyökeres hype. Do you know what? We had Gyökeres watch last night. Sweden actually got beaten 5-2 by Portugal. Gyökeres did get his goal. Wasn't actually that good. And that's not... Look, I'm not the train isn't slowing down. What I'm saying is it wasn't one of his better games. Sweden, in general, weren't particularly good, but he still got on the score sheet. So, you know, if anything, that says more about him. Even on an off day, he's still on the score sheet, which was good to see. Tushar, Sam, Max, Verdi, Maddie, Churms, Matt, the Queen of Boss. It is good to see you all. Sweden aren't that good. Well, so Sweden have a new manager. That I believe that was Sweden's first game under their new manager. Maybe one of their first games at the very least under their new manager, who wants to play a completely different way to what they've done previously. So I can kind of... like, they were very open. Defensively, they had no idea when to press or how to press. It was completely disjointed, and they were getting torn apart, to be honest. But that happens when you get a new manager, you know. And then, to be fair, Sweden's front four was Kulusevski, Elanga, Isak, and Gyökeres, which is a very good front four. Their midfield and defense, for sure, is the weaker part of their squad. And also, by the way, keep an eye on Portugal, because, I mean, look, it was, you know, Sweden helped them to look good last night, but that team played really well, and it wasn't even their full strength team. Yeah, they didn't have I think they had Rui Patricio in goal instead of Diogo Costa. Who else were they missing? João Felix was missing. Someone else was missing as well. Quite a few players were missing, basically, and they still looked really good. Hi, you are not late. You are not late. You're bang on time. New manager, new system for Sweden. Not really weird that it was kind of shit. Yeah, first game. Yeah, exactly. So, but the big takeaway is Victor Gyökeres scores even on an off day, which is good to see. I'm just putting my phone on charge because it's going to die. But yeah, look, how are you doing? How are you doing? Friday. Any plans for the weekend? Loopy, good to see you. No, Ronaldo wasn't playing. They had Gonzalo Ramos up top. Ødegaard is playing right now, I think. He might be, actually, yeah. Ødegaard and Haaland are both playing. Yeah, they are, against Czech Republic. Haaland just got subbed off. Haaland got subbed off in the 75th minute. Didn't score. Oscar Bob scored, though, and he also got taken off in the 75th minute. Ødegaard is still on. Ødegaard's still on, which I suppose at least means he's not been injured, which is a good sign. On that, more players dropping out. So after the Portugal game last night, Ruben Dias and Bernardo Silva have both headed back to Manchester. They're not going to play in the second game. I think this is going to be really common. I think England play Brazil tomorrow. I think after that game, we'll see a number of players will go home. Wouldn't surprise me if Foden, Stones, Rice all disappear. Wasn't Haaland called off the team? No, he ended up playing. He said the limping in training was nothing in the end. So yeah, he played 75 minutes. I'll tell you what, though, he didn't play well. Played 75 minutes, no goals, no assists, 13 accurate passes, 1 shot on target. That was it. So, you know, not great. Carter, good to see you. But yeah, no, so he did play. But look, I think most major players are going to play the first game and then go home. I think it would be crazy to see them playing on Tuesday night against Belgium. Do you think we'll play one more behind closed doors friendly next week? Yeah, probably. Probably early next week we'll play another one. I would imagine. My goat Kivior played yesterday for Poland, carrying our defense. Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, he played really well. Apparently, Kivior played really well for Poland, which is good. Haaland hasn't been his usual self for a while now. I kind of agree. I mean, in general, but the thing is, he's still the top scorer this season. But in general, I do think he's been off it a little bit. I think Man City are struggling more in general to find him as well. I need Douglas Luiz and Gyökeres, preferably a defender, whether it's Murillo or Hato or Diamande, I don't mind. And a backup keeper is needed. Saw we were also linked to Lunin from Madrid. Bit strange. Yeah, well, I don't really know. Yeah, the Lunin one is strange because I don't really know what they're going to do with their goalkeeper situation. They brought in Kepa, who then effectively was so bad at the start that he's ended up being their third choice goalkeeper behind Lunin. So I don't really know what they're going to do. Obviously, Courtois out injured again, but he should be back for next season. I don't know. Is it worrying that Saka pulled out before the first game? Nah, I don't think so. Apparently, he's struggling with. He just had a sore Achilles, basically, and it's like he could either give it a rest for a week or he could play on it. And the thing is, and someone said this because I've seen some people, mainly like Spurs fans, saying, "Oh, he shouldn't be allowed to start for England at the Euros if he's faking an injury." And it's like it's better for England not to cause him any more problems. Like it doesn't benefit England if they irritate the injury and then he goes like he's not going to get a rest during the end of the Premier League season and the Champions League. So it would just not help England to send him into that final run of games with an aggravated problem. Like, and that's why I think a lot of the teams are not insisting that players go and play. Or in the case of Portugal let 8 of their players go home. It wasn't just Bernardo Silva and Ruben Dias. Bruno Fernandes has gone home. Semedo's gone home, I think. They've let 8 of them go. So thoughts on the news that Isak is number 1 target now? The reality is none of the sources for any of these, when we said yesterday about the or the day before about Gyökeres being number 1 target. Like none of them are credible sources. It's guesswork. Arsenal probably don't know their number 1 target yet. And if they do, no one else knows it. Marlon links came out today. Doniel Marlon links came out today. I clicked on the wrong thing. Who said about Marlon? Oh yeah, thoughts on Marlon links. He could count as homegrown for us. I don't know. He's not someone that's been on my radar. When I've seen Dortmund play, I'm like, I've never considered him being good enough for Arsenal. Truthfully, from what I've seen of him, I'm not really sure it's what we need either in terms of that profile. I don't know. Maybe it's something that we see as an opportunity. Did we drop Pedro Neto as a target? Not necessarily. I think his injury problems are going to be a concern for everyone, realistically. Would you want Navas as our second goalkeeper? I don't really know. I don't know who I want as the second goalkeeper. I think it will become quite apparent during the summer. If you could sign Bruno G, Morgan Gibbs White, or Pascal Gross, who would you sign? 3 very different players. 3 very different players. Bruno G, Morgan Gibbs White, or Pascal Gross. Probably Bruno G. I think his all-round game's probably the best. I think for the sort of 8 that we need, he can play as a 6 if we want to, or he can play in a double pivot with Rice. Yeah. What would your front 3 be for tomorrow? Well, I think Kane's out injured, right? Kane's out injured, I think. So I would probably go... I'd probably go Palmer, Watkins, and Foden. I think I'll go Palmer, Watkins, Foden. Palmer off the right, Foden off the left. Would love Adeyemi at Arsenal or Nico Williams, as he's both footed, which would be vital for us. Yeah, Nico Williams I'd like. Adeyemi I'm not a huge fan of. But I would take Nico Williams for sure. Gross, purely because Bruno elbowed Jorginho. Yeah, I know. But Bruno's one of those players that I hate him playing for another team. But if he played for us, you'd probably... I mean, not the elbowing thing. I think that was a bit far. And you'd definitely get sent off if you did that in an Arsenal shirt. Um, but do you think Trent goes to Madrid? I'm probably going to make a TikTok on this because, in a way, I think Trent to Madrid works for everyone. Like, I don't know if it will happen. I know Trent made a joke about them buying him on FIFA today, but in a way, I think it works for everyone. Liverpool get a lot of money for him, and they've got Connor Bradley coming through, who some Liverpool fans genuinely think will long term be a better right back than Trent. They get a lot of money for him, kind of like the Coutinho money. They can reinvest that in a new manager who's going to come in. And for Trent, I feel like he's done everything at Liverpool. He's won everything. He's only ever known Jurgen Klopp. And it's the opportunity to go and play for Madrid, which is, for an English player, pretty massive. And he'd have Jude Bellingham there as well. So it's one of those that I can kind of... It might annoy Liverpool fans if you tell them that it would be a good move, but I actually think it could be. Honestly, if Mbappe and Trent goes to Madrid, it's over for football. Yeah, Mbappe, Trent, Alphonso Davies, who's probably going to go as their left back. Yeah. Madrid are going to be a force, an absolute force. If Alonso goes to Liverpool, Trent could play the Frimpong role pretty well, I'd imagine. Possibly. I don't think Alonso's going to go to Liverpool. That Florian Plettenberg, who's like a German Sky Sports reporter, was saying today that Bayern are definitely confident that he goes to them. So we'll see. That Madrid team would be insane. Yeah, it would be insane. Madrid's pull is just unbelievable. Well, the thing is as well now, I feel like, and I don't know about you, but because of everything that Barcelona have been through over the last few years, I feel like Madrid's way bigger than Barcelona now in terms of the opportunity. And so because of that, it's kind of like Madrid can just go and get who they don't even have to compete with Barca. They can kind of just go and get who they want. Apparently Real Sociedad want Partey. Interesting. Is that true? Let me see if I can find something about that. If Real Madrid want if Real Sociedad want Partey, I mean, obviously, naturally, that immediately makes you think about Zubamendi coming the other way, right? Let me see if there's anything about that. I haven't seen anything about it, but I can't see anything. There's nothing really on Twitter about it. The last time anything to do with that was mentioned was in January, and Fabrizio Romano said Atletico and Real Madrid are not interested in Thomas Partey. So I'm not sure. Alonso goes Bayern. The thing is, for me, I think Bayern is a better option for Alonso. Bayern Munich, off the back of the season that they've had with Thomas Tuchel, it's far easier to go into that job, I think, than to go into the Liverpool job. You've not missed much, to be fair, Fizzy. We've just kind of been chatting, really. I'll be honest, there's not a huge amount of pre-planned content for this stream because there's just not a lot happening. One thing that was interesting is the whole thing with AirPods Albert Stuyvenberg, our obviously assistant, who's apparently been offered the chance to go and manage Ajax. He's been offered the chance to go and manage Ajax. I basically said no, and he's determined to win the Premier League with Mikel Arteta. Like, he's absolutely dead set on winning trophies with Arteta before he goes off and does his own thing, which I think is sensational. Like, to have that level of commitment to Arteta and what we've built, even when you've been offered, what is absolutely, every assistant manager really is waiting for the opportunity to go and become the main man, right? There are very few assistant managers that are just happy being the assistant. But he's desperate to win something with Arteta before he goes and does that, which I just think that's such a good signal about where the club is at. Yeah, he said he's got unfinished business. Yeah, he's got unfinished business. I love it. I absolutely love it. But look, so the title and thumbnail of the stream were actually Kai Havertz. And whether we do need a centre forward / striker. And the reason I ask it is because I made a TikTok earlier talking about the 5 positions that we need in the summer and the priority. And I still had striker centre forward as the number 1 priority. And I acknowledged in the video, I was like, well, it's not as desperate now as it was a few months ago. Like, remember after the Fulham game? After the Fulham game, we were literally like, we have to buy a striker in January, pretty much. And then it became quickly apparent that that wasn't going to be possible. But we were like, okay, but in the summer, like, we have to. Like, we have to. And now there are definitely some people that are in the boat of saying between Jesus and Havertz, we don't need to go and get one, or that it's not the number 1 priority. And I'm kind of just interested to see what you think about that. Like, do you? Yeah, in fact, someone's smart enough to do my job for me to put a poll up. Let me put a poll up. Do 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 do. So is in fact we'll just keep it simple. Is striker the main priority? Yes or no? There you go. The poll is up. The poll is up. Emilio, good to see you. Is a striker the main priority this summer? Now, some people think it's a priority, but they think the left-sided 8 is a bigger priority. And I hear it. I genuinely, I do hear that the argument that the midfielder is more important than the striker centre forward. Because we do have Jesus and Kai Havertz. And the way that Kai Havertz especially has developed over the last few months has been fantastic. And there's definitely not as much pressure now to go and get that striker. And when we do go and get that striker, I think they can, they can come in and they don't necessarily have to go straight into the starting lineup and hit the ground running. Like, they'll have time to bed in because of Jesus and because of Kai Havertz. But I do still feel like that's a position that we can, we can significantly improve on. For me, it's Gyökeres. Obviously, other people, it's Isaac or Osman or I still, I see a fair few people that still want Xerxes or Jimenez from Feyenoord. There's a lot out there. Is Benjamin Sesko a target? Is that credible? It's definitely someone we've looked at. It is definitely someone we've looked at. For me, he's a bit too raw still, but it is someone that we've looked at. I think we will sign a centre forward, but I think it'll be a project player, someone like Sesko. It could be. And I mean, yeah, based on what I was just saying about the fact that, they will have time to settle in because of Havertz and Jesus, it's possible. It is possible. Rory, if Arsenal could sign one of Musiala, Rodrigo, and Gyökeres, which one are you taking? Ooh. If we could sign one of Musiala, Rodrigo, and Gyökeres, it wouldn't be Rodrigo because I don't think he guarantees even coming into the starting lineup. He'd be a great player to have. He'd be a brilliant backup for Bukayo Saka, and potentially someone that pushes Bukayo Saka's position, or Martinelli. I don't know how he is off the left. I've not seen much of him off the left, but it would be between Gyökeres and Musiala. I think I'd still go Gyökeres. Ultra Pro Gamer, no worries. Enjoy your dinner. Appreciate you coming back to watch the VOD later. I think it would still be Gyökeres because, as I said, I think that position is the most important still, and I think he's the best option for it. Rodrigo can play left wing, right wing, and centre forward. He'll start left wing. Yeah, possibly. I mean, I've not seen enough of him outside of playing off the right. Remember when Ruben Neves was linked? Would you still take him now? I've no idea. Probably not. Probably not. Based on the fact that I've not seen him since he left for Saudi. Probably not. Not gonna lie, I'm selling Martinelli next season if he does not step up. Wow. That's a statement. Wow. Interesting. I think he's been unfairly criticised by some people this season. because I don't think the way that we've played has suited him. And I don't think the left-hand side at any point really has clicked. And when we look at where we've become so much better in the second half of the season, a large amount of that is the time and what's gone into making Ødegaard, White, and Saka click again. And I just don't feel like we have that on the left-hand side. And the reason is, on the right-hand side, for Saka, Ødegaard and Ben White have been pretty much constants. On the left-hand side, for Martinelli, the left back has been all over the shop. It's changed repeatedly. It's become Kivior, who has been great, but does he link up that well with Martinelli? Maybe, maybe not. The left 8 has changed repeatedly. Sometimes it's been Havertz, Trossard, Jorginho, Declan Rice. Like, for me, we still haven't figured out the left-hand side yet. And I don't think it's Martinelli's fault, given what Martinelli was capable of doing last season. It's not crazy. It's not crazy because he holds a lot of value, right? And you could make the argument, the way Arteta wants to do things, maybe that's never going to suit Martinelli's style. Maybe Arteta does look at it and think that he has to change that position at some point. And you could get a lot of money for Martinelli. But for me, I think it's harsh to say that Martinelli hasn't stepped up. Missed the beginning of the stream. What have I missed? Loving the streams. Just a bit of chit chat, really. A bit about Gyökeres, bit about AirPods Albert. We've got a poll running in the chat as to whether centre forward striker is the most important position. Zigga Zagga. Thank you for coming, and goodbye. Martinelli disrespect is mad. He's one of our most dangerous players. He's almost a sacrifice for the good of the team. Yeah, exactly. I mean, don't ignore how much of an impact he has just by standing far left, just by standing out on that left wing and being a threat there. It spreads the opposition. We got to be like Man City, selling players if they're not play good. Yeah, but I hear what you're saying. I just don't think Martinelli falls into that category. I think players like, I think Eddie Nketiah falls into that category, but I don't think Martinelli does. The problem with Martinelli is the consistency. He only has moments. Yeah, but if you have enough moments, it doesn't really matter. And he has had big moments this season, We beat Liverpool and Man City, and he scored what was effectively the winning goal in both of those games. I would sell Trossard, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah, Nelson way before Martinelli. Oh, I thought you were just going to say you would sell them outright. I was about to come down on you like a ton of bricks. But yeah, I probably would sell all of them before I sold Martinelli. Smith Rowe sadly fits into that category. Possibly. I don't like it, but possibly. Do you think City sell Grealish this summer? If a bid comes in, I just wonder where that bid would come from. Norway lost 2-1. Fair. I wouldn't want us to go in for Grealish. I can't imagine Chelsea would. They wouldn't be able to afford it. Like, where does he go? Unless he goes abroad. Unless he ended up going to like a Bayern or something. I don't really see where Grealish goes. A right wing who can cover for Saka. Yeah, I think we need a better winger. Spurs? Yeah, maybe Spurs. That's a downgrade for him though. Would Jack Grealish accept going to Spurs? I don't know if he would. Wild shout, might be wrong, but would maybe Grealish fit in our system? The issue with that for me is that we need one of our wingers to have the electric pace that Martinelli does. Bukayo Saka is quick, but he doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't often actually go full pace, burn a defender. And I feel like that's what we need more than Jack Grealish. Also, I would just be a bit concerned about us going for another City player that they're willing to sell. Um, you do have to look at it and go, why is Pep willing to sell him after winning a treble with him, if they do sell him? Mo Arsenal said if Real Madrid selling one of their stars, Arsenal can drop their search for striker and can go for a wide attacker. Yeah, I could see it. I can see that happening for sure. Do you think Smith Rowe has a future at Arsenal? I don't know. It's tough to see it. All we can do, I think, is see how much he plays in the, like we said, if we reach the semi-finals of the Champions League, we've got 14 games in 49 days, right? 14 games in 49 days. That's exactly 7 weeks where you are playing once every 84 hours for 7 weeks straight. Every 84 hours, you've got a game for 7 weeks straight. If Smith Rowe can't get game time, significant game time during that, and prove himself, I think it's probably the end. Would you take Zaire Emery from PSG? Yes, I would. But I don't think you can get him out of PSG. I think he's a player that anyone would take, but I just don't think you can get him out of there. No one ever mentions how he cost 100 million and has never looked like being worth that amount of money. Yeah, it's annoying. I've had this conversation with people before, with Man City fans, because when people talked about, was Kai Havertz worth 65 million? I'm like, why does no one ever talk about the fact that Grealish was 100 million, basically didn't play in the first season, fine, won the treble and was quite an important player in the treble season, and then has fallen off again and isn't being selected? Their argument is, well, we spent 100 million on him and we won the treble, it was worth it. Fair enough. If that's your argument, fair enough. But in the grand scheme of things, even in that treble winning season, his numbers weren't brilliant. And his numbers outside of that have been pretty poor. So I don't think he was worth 100 million. And that's the thing. What would Man City want to get back for him? And would it be worth it? Sesko or Gyökeres? Gyökeres. 100% for me. 100%. The 9-9 challenge is getting more and more heartbreaking. Yeah, today was a rough one. It was kind of my fault again, to be honest. Do you think Lewis... I assume that means... Do you mean Lewis Miley? Do you believe he has a bright future? No one really talks about him very differently. Midfield, 6'4". Just want your thoughts. I think he's a good player, yeah. I'd imagine he'll stay at Newcastle for now, unless they have to sell him. Kimmich and we are fine, plus centre forward, or 3-8. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Kimmich. Might be overshadowed by the fact that they actually win titles. Yeah, that it is. So many they've made so many bad signings that are not really spoken about because they've won things. And Arteta makes potentially, and Kai Havertz didn't even turn into a bad signing, but potentially one bad signing. And it was used as this massive thing against him. And I'm like, City makes so many of them. Pep bought about 4 different fullbacks before he found ones that he liked. Before he got Edison, he had what's his name? Bravo. Spent a lot of money, was rubbish. Players like Ferran Torres. They've made so many. Obviously, the big ones like Calvin Phillips. Mateus Nunes cost a load. Hasn't really, done much for them. If we'd bought him and played him that little and spent that much money, people would go crazy about it. But then that is the privilege that you get with winning things. What even is our last bad signing? For me, the closest one that we spent reasonable money on would be Fabio Vieira right now. I don't think we've seen anywhere near enough of Fabio Vieira for the money that we spent on him. But other than that, it's really only the very cheap players that we bought that we wouldn't lose much money on, like Nuno Tavares, maybe Sambi Lokonga. But Mesut Özil has scored 33 Prem goals. Nice bit of knowledge. Have you seen Mesut Özil? Let me try and find it. Mesut Özil is jacked. Let me find this video. Where is it? Whoa. Turn that down. Oh, good. Look, have a look at this from Mesut Özil. It's crazy. Look at this. He's absolutely wham. He's absolutely huge. Imagine him in the midfield. Imagine him in the midfield in this day and age. He'd absolutely body people. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Bulking for charity matches. Yeah, he's just going to start bodying all the old guys in charity matches. Timber not in training with the rest of the guys, not on international duty. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think some of the training that they've been doing, they said before, Timber hasn't been involved in all of the training sessions, and he's not been involved in training sessions where they believe it will put unnecessary strain on his knee that he's not ready for yet. So who knows? Maybe he's had a setback that they haven't mentioned yet. That's always a possibility. I haven't seen the Bros doing side quests. I've not seen the training video that you're talking about, but Jack's Hack says he swear he saw him, so maybe he has. If Özil was playing footy, he'd be thinner than Kate Moss. He's got a lot of time on his hands now. Yeah, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. Get your fingers on your keyboards. But yeah, on those bad signings that we've had, the only real expensive bad signing was Pepe, and that was before the current manager and Edu and all the rest of it. So anyway, clue number 1. This player won the Scottish treble with Celtic. They won the Scottish treble with Celtic. That is the Scottish League Cup, the Scottish Cup, and the Scottish Premier League. Clue number 2. They played 326 times for Arsenal. They played 326 times for Arsenal. Clue number 3. They won the Premier League with 2 different clubs. They won the Premier League with 2 different clubs. Clue number 4. They won AFCON in 2015. They won AFCON in 2015. And clue number 5. They are an Arsenal invincible. They are an Arsenal invincible. That first clue, I knew that first clue was going to send people on a wild goose chase. You've been on a wild goose chase in the chat. Obviously, everyone thought it was Tierney. Everyone thought it was Tierney. Where are we? Oh my God, we've had another winner that has just guessed it before we even started. Emilio guessed Colo Torre. Like, everyone was guessing random names, and he's got it. It was Colo Torre. No one then got it for ages. He guessed it. He guessed Colo Torre before the clues, and then guessed Tierney after the first clue, which a lot of people did. Who was the first legit? So Yat was who I thought won it, because he was the first person to guess it correctly with the clues. VV Vlad was next. Ethan Udall was 4th, and then Emilio said it again. And Fizzy, right. Do you think? I mean, congratulations to Emilio, who says it's his first win in his career. So we're going to give it to him today. Emilio gets the win. But do you think we have a rule change where I ignore the names that are said at the start? Because I feel like now there's enough people doing it that like it's not crazy unlikely that someone's gonna get it just by randomly throwing out a name. So do we make a mid-season rule change, or do we not? Now those guys deserve it. Like it's mad to guess without any clues. Yeah, but like say there's 100 of you, right? Say there's 100 of you that all guess a name right at the start before we start. It's not that unlikely that one of you won't get it right. We're gonna have to poll it. We're gonna poll it. This is a democracy. By the way, is striker the main priority? Ended with 73% yes and 27% no. So striker is the priority. And we're doing another poll now. We're doing another poll. This is democracy. Do we allow pre-clue guesses? Yes or no? Answer this one in the chat. Change the rule. Just change it after my W. Yeah, Emilio gets the win today. We're not changing it today. It would be for the future. It is in the chat. The poll is in the chat. Don't intro it. Just start saying hints. Yeah, I could do that, I suppose. I could just be fast with the intro. You put a chat when you give the first clue, so any after that win. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. Have it as a separate thing. Put a chat in when you do the first clue. I could do. I mean, as it stands, more people are saying no than yes. No is winning. No is currently winning. No is on 66%. So it's looking like rule change inbound. Out of courtesy, limit to one guess before the clue. Yeah, but even then, if everyone guessed once, if the 117 of you in here now guessed once, there's a good chance someone would get it right. What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? What an absolute legend. If you somehow don't know that clip, then take your hand off my penis. We can have 2 imaginary awards now. You can. There we go. So I think no has won. So there is going to be a rule change. There's going to be a rule change. Man, tell me you see the vision. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kimmich, Rice, Saka, Erdegaard, Alvarez, Havertz, Martinelli. I'm struggling to see that. I'm struggling to see it. This is democracy manifest. Is this for Guess the Non-Gooner as well? No, not for Guess the Non. There's enough players in the world that Guess the Non-Gooner, you can still just guess. If you guess the Non-Gooner before I start, then fair enough, because there are a lot more players. There are a lot more players. Anyway, let's do Guess the Non-Gooner. Let's do Guess the Non-Gooner. This player started their career at Stade Rennais. They started their career at Stade Rennais. They went to Borussia Dortmund. They went to Barcelona. They went to PSG. Stade Rennais, Borussia Dortmund, Barcelona, PSG. Bosh. Simple. Simple career path. Who is going to be fastest? It's a race. It's a race. Oh my god, they all flew in. They flew in. About 1 million people said so. It was Ousmane Dembélé, and about 1 million people said it at the same time. Who was first? The first person to get it right was Cesar Zepeda. Cesar Zepeda gets it right with Dembele. Vivi Vlad was second. Hi was fourth. Saka number 7 was fifth. And Mevan was fifth. No, I can't. Numbers. Cesar was first. Vlad, Hi, Emilio. Oh, no, wait. Saka and Mevan. I don't know what's going on. But that was the order. Congratulations. It was Dembele, Dembele, Dembele. I was way too slow. You've got to be quick. You've got to be quick for it. You do indeed. You do indeed. Who do you think will win the Euros? England. 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 VV Vlad was first, not on my screen. Not on my screen. Unless VV Vlad said it even earlier. Nah, VV Vlad said Gyökeres. And then on my screen, like four people higher up than VV Vlad was Cesar Zepeda. That was on my screen. Oh, VV Vlad was second even on his screen. So there you go. Yeah, I think for me, England are going to win it. England, but I might put a little bit of money on Portugal because I like the way they looked yesterday. I did like the way they looked yesterday. Anyway, before I wrap up the stream, so I've got to go home this weekend. As like a kind of like a obviously because there's so much football on Easter weekend, I can't go back for that. So I'm going home for like an early Easter plus a funeral on Monday. So there's going to be no stream tomorrow night, Sunday night, or Monday night. I'm driving back after the funeral on Monday, but I don't think I'll be back in time to stream. So the next 3 nights, no streams, but there will be a video at 6:30 tomorrow on the channel, and there will be a video at 6:30 on Sunday on the channel. I'm pre-making those. I've pre-made one. I'm going to pre-make another. So there will still be content at 6:30 on the channel. If you can support that, if you can watch those videos, smash likes on them, all that good stuff, it will massively help me out. Obviously, I'm so happy that we've got into this rhythm of the daily streams. This is just one of those unavoidable things that happens. But yeah, the videos will be there. So if you can support those videos when they come out at 6:30 tomorrow and 6:30 on Sunday, I will be very grateful. Are you going live for the Belgium game? Possibly. I'll let you know. I'll be live at 6:30 on Tuesday, definitely. And after that, I then might go live on Tifo to do the England-Belgium game. I might not. It depends how much work I've got to catch up on from Monday. But I'll let you know. You will be sorely missed. Psych. Have a good weekend. Thank you very much. Is it Özil next time? No, we can't start guessing for the next streams. We can't start doing that. Why do you think that Rodrigo won't start at Arsenal? Martinelli at centre forward, Rodrigo at left wing? Possibly. Or Martinelli left wing and Rodrigo centre forward. Potentially. Yeah, they are possibilities. Anyway, look, that is going to be the end of the stream. Massive thanks for all of you for joining, as always. I hope you have a fantastic evening. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you can, smash a like on the video before you jump off. As always, I do massively appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new. And I will catch you live on Tuesday. But like I said, those videos will be out over the weekend. Until Tuesday, goodbye.